So AEW Dynamite 24th of April review, let's get into it. So the show starts off with the Elite entering the building, and not only them, Jack Perry is involved. So it seems as if Jack Perry is officially a part of the Elite. We then kick off with the segment where Chuck Taylor would have to pick sides between Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta. As Orange Cassidy is coming out, we see Trent Beretta attacking Orange Cassidy and throwing him into the middle of the ring. Out comes Chuck Taylor, where he now has to pick his side. And it seems as if he's going to go with Trent Beretta, but then changes his mind and goes with Orange Cassidy. He attacks Trent Beretta, sends Trent Beretta running or leaving the ring. And he basically says he knows they'll sanction a match in this ring, but he wants a match in the parking lot with Trent Beretta. I feel like that escalated very quickly. You could have built to a match like that. Like, you didn't have to go straight into that match after he just turned on, or he just picked Orange Cassidy's side. You could have maybe given it a week or two and then had that announcement of wanting a parking lot match. You get what I'm trying to say. We then had Swerve Strickland versus Kyle Fletcher. Now, I don't know why this match is happening. I don't know. I see the storyline to it, but that could have been held off another week. In terms of Kyle Fletcher not doing as Don Callis said in the match when he called a play in the match, and then Kyle Fletcher ended up doing something else and ended up getting the loss. But why did this match need to happen? Swerve needed a crowning moment. Swerve needed a moment with the fans, all 20 of them in Jacksonville, to actually appreciate his win. And it was a huge win. Why is he just getting thrown into a match that means nothing? And why does Kyle Fletcher deserve this match? Yes, he's won a lot in ROH, but he hasn't won since last year in AEW. Has not won. In fact, the entire Don Callis family doesn't win except for Will Ospreay. That's a whole nother topic. I don't understand what the point of this match was, what the booking decision was. You could have done the Kyle Fletcher thing with a completely different person. It didn't have to be Swerve. It just, yeah, there's a lot to it that doesn't quite make sense. And I don't know, they need to reevaluate their champions. I think WWE is doing it well. We haven't seen Cody wrestle on TV. This is not a comparison. I'm just trying to show what a world champion should be doing. We didn't see Samoa Joe wrestle every single week on TV. So I don't know if Swerve needed to have a match straight away. We then had Mina Shirakawa taking on Anna Jay. And average match. Decent match. Nothing spectacular, nothing bad. Just an average standard TV match with Maria getting the win over Anna Jay. But Anna Jay attacked Maria Shirakawa and Mariah May after the match, trying to choke them both out. And out comes Toni Storm to make the save on Mariah. Interesting. It's nice to see the development between their relationship, when it was Mariah just being a fan to now Toni Storm actually caring about Mariah. So that's pretty cool. And then out comes Serena Deeb out of nowhere, sits next to the title that Toni Storm dropped on her way to the ring, and says, and basically she touches it, but then she says, this will be the last time I touch it. The next time I'll win it, or I'll touch it, is when I win the title. So I'm assuming we're going to get Toni Storm versus Serena Deeb very, very soon. Probably at Double or Nothing, if not, knowing Tony Khan, a random TV match. We then get Willow's championship celebration, and Chris Statland and Stokely Hathaway are in the ring. They introduce Willow. We got Caprice Coleman doing like a freestyle over her entrance music. Don't know why. Has that been done before? Am I missing something here, guys? Anyway, Willow speaks about her journey and how she was a fan here in Jacksonville, or in the front row, trying to get an opportunity in 2020. And then come 2022, Tony Schiavone announced that she's now All Elite. And now she's a TBS champion. So her journey, she's described her journey. And then out comes the CEO, Mercedes Moné, to interrupt Willow once again. She cuts a promo on Willow, and Willow cuts a promo back. They basically just go back and forth about the match and the issues that they have. Willow says, do you really think I tried to injure you in that match? And I'm thinking, I hope so. This is a wrestling match. What are you trying to do? Just not injure her? That's what you do in a wrestling match. You're saying you're going to DDT someone, and that's not trying to injure her. Just an example. Or you didn't do whatever, and that's powerbomb someone, and that's not trying to injure her. That's exactly what you're trying to do. Sometimes people try to blur the lines between kayfabe and what's not kayfabe, and they end up just exposing the whole thing and not making sense. Of course you want to injure the person. That's why you're wrestling them. You want to win. But anyway, let's move on. Mercedes Moné then says that she took everything away from her. Willow took everything away from her. That is wrestling. And they go face to face. Mercedes turns around. Chris Statlander grabs Mercedes, and Mercedes slaps Willow, thinking it's Willow that grabbed her. And then there's a bit of a scruffle, and then they lead off or go their own separate ways. So interesting stuff there. The promo wasn't too bad. Willow had a nice fired up promo at one stage, but that one line just bothered me, man. It just really bothered me because it sets the tone for this whole story, and it just doesn't make sense. Then we had what they call a sudden death casino match. I don't know what exactly they called it, but I like the concept. It just went on a bit too long. So the match started out with Dante Martin and Jay White. And I don't know why Jay White's getting an opportunity. He's got 2 titles already, but anyway. So the winner of this match gets an opportunity at Roderick Strong's title, his international title at Double or Nothing. So we had Dante Martin and Jay White. Then we had the likes of Kyle O'Reilly, Penta, Commander, Lance Archer, Will Ospreay, who actually went on to win the whole match. We even had Jay Lethal, my boy Jay Lethal. Will Ospreay ended up getting the win after hitting a hidden blade on Commander. Easy win in the end of the day. I like this concept. It's not a bad concept. It leaves excitement as in who's next. And I know you're the same thing as with the Casino Battle Royale, but in a Casino Battle Royale, you expect everybody. And yeah, people are there for quick little cameos before they get thrown out. This is different, and I like it. So Will Ospreay versus Roderick Strong at Double or Nothing. Will Ospreay should be getting the win, I assume. Interesting that this match has been announced so soon. I think we're definitely not going to see Ospreay for a couple weeks. With that being said, I'm excited for this. Should be a banger match. Ospreay and Roderick should be a really, really good match. Let's get into the next segment. We then had Chris Jericho, the Learning Tree. Chris Jericho, what a terrible name. Cut a promo about how Hook should have listened to him and all of that. You get the point after he became the FTW champion. And then out comes Big Bill. And Big Bill, it seems as if he's going to confront Jericho about what he's saying, but he actually says, I need your guidance. I need the help of your Learning Tree. And yeah, it's going to be interesting because you were a tag champion not too long ago, so I don't know what help you need. And where's Ricky Starks? What happened to Ricky Starks? Anyway, basic Chris Jericho segment. Nothing exciting, nothing I really want to watch. Anything with Chris Jericho I don't really want to watch. You guys know by now, I am not the biggest Chris Jericho fan out there. Then we had our main event of Jon Moxley taking out Powerhouse Hobbs. Decent match, typical Jon Moxley match. Powerhouse Hobbs doing his thing, always looking good. But the match felt a little bit boring at times. I don't know if that's just me. And the finish was not it, man. The finish was not it, guys. That choke is terrible. Sleeping someone out after with no momentum into a match, a 10-minute match, is just, I don't know, it kills all the momentum for me. It's not exciting. It's just a flat finish, and I want more. I need some excitement, especially on this show where there wasn't that many matches like a normal AEW show. They went on long. I think that's sudden death match on very long. I don't know. It just felt, the finish felt very, very flat for an IWGP World Heavyweight match. I felt it could have had a bit more to it. Moxley's style just doesn't work for me. I'm gonna be honest. Moxley's style just doesn't work for me. Anyway, decent match. At the end of the match, Konosuke Takeshita's standing on the apron. He's calling his shot now. Everyone in the Don Callis family just loses. Except for Will Ospreay. Everybody. Hobbs doesn't win and beats anybody. Konosuke Takeshita beats some people and then he loses. Then we get Kyle Fletcher, who just loses to everybody unless he's on ROH. No, man. Guys, Don Callis family need to get some wins. I like the idea. They just need some wins. I don't like Don Callis. Nobody likes Don Callis. But I like the idea. Let them get some wins. Let them be a powerful unit. That's one thing. I don't want to make a comparison. Let me leave it there. We then move on to Shibata with a backstage promo using his phone, talking to Renee Young or Renee Good or Renee Moxley Good or Renee Paquette. You know the vibes. I don't know her name. And then in AEW, he then he says he's gonna take on Jericho next week, or he's challenging Jericho next week for a match for the FTW title in FTW rules. And he then compliments her, not her necklace this time, but her shirt, I guess. What's this man trying to pull her every week? A couple weeks ago, he was complimenting her necklace. Now he's never mind. We then had Jungle Boy Jack Perry, or now known as just Jack Perry, the scapegoat Jack Perry, confronting or calling out Tony Khan to have a conversation. They have the conversation. Jack Perry says all he's ever cared about is AEW, is All Elite Wrestling. And Tony Khan reinstates Jack Perry in the middle of the ring. They have a handshake, they have a hug. Jack Perry gives a little smirk. And then Jack Perry punches Tony Khan in the stomach, and Tony Khan drops dead, and then he realizes, oh, I gotta sell. That's kind of funny. He dropped dead first, and then he's like, oh, wait, I'm in pain. Interesting stuff there. I can criticize him. Mr. McMahon, Vince McMahon, for all those years, took terrible finishes left, right, and center. So I can criticize Tony Khan. Before you guys come and say, oh, but Mr. McMahon did this for years and years, I'm criticizing both of them. Then out comes the Elite, the rest of the Elites, and they're like, how can you do this? How can you do this? Next thing you know, Okada's busy doing directions with his, doing sign language, telling everyone what to do, and they land their Meltzer driver, or didn't they change it to the Tony Khan driver? They changed it, I think, to the Tony Khan driver. I don't know. They changed the name. They landed on Tony Khan. I'm surprised he took that bump. Well, it's not really much of a bump, but I'm surprised he took that move. And then they leave the ring, standing tall. They just took out the boss. Now, the baby faces come out, and they come and check on Tony Khan, including Tony Khan's father actually makes an appearance to check out on Tony Khan. That's pretty interesting. Anyway, let's talk about the segment. Nice idea, but it makes no sense. It makes no sense. Fire Jack Perry now. Fire him. Fire the Elites. Fire Jack Perry. Fire all of them. Because Punk didn't even touch you, and you were fearing for your life. I know this is real versus kayfabe, but you brought the realness into kayfabe last, or a couple weeks ago when you showed the footage. So now everything is kayfabe, or now everything is in story. So this has to be in story as well. You feared for your life with CM Punk. Now you telling me you didn't fear for your life for this. He got fired, so should these guys. In storyline. Now obviously I don't want them to get fired. I'm not calling for their firing. But I'm saying you brought that story into it. So that means this story should be held to the same level as what CM Punk was. That's how it is. You brought that story into real wrestling instead of leaving it in the wrestling rumor mill, leaving it with the dirt sheets. You brought it onto your TV show. So now they should be held to the same ramifications according to your story. So it's just not going to make sense. What are you going to do, Tony Khan? You're not going to fight them. You're going to get other people to fight them, and it's just going to carry on making it being a story. Why wouldn't you do that with CM Punk? You get what I'm saying? Obviously, I'm not comparing real versus fake, but I'm saying you brought it all into one story. So treat it as one story. The idea was good, but they didn't think about the consequences or the story before this, or none of that. That is my problem with it. I do like the fact that the EVPs are taking over. I just don't like the way they had to attack Tony Khan, because now it makes the CM Punk stuff look weird. It brings that into contention. Anyway, that was AEW Dynamite. It's kind of a little bit of an underwhelming show. I enjoyed the match with Will Ospreay winning because it was different. It was exciting. Not saying the wrestling was fantastic, because there was people like Commander in there. And I don't know, man. The show was just up and down. I suppose you can't have a banger show every week. I just think they should have made Swerve the focal point in the show. It felt like Swerve was an afterthought. And if that's going to be how this title run goes, we're going to have a problem. Anyways, guys, we'll see you guys on the next review next week. Take care and peace.